Hundreds of people gathered in northern Colorado today, joining even more around the country to protest the recent layoffs of national parks workers. They gathered near the entrance of Rocky Mountain National Park this morning. NBC is reporting about 1,000 national park employees have been laid off nationally, many of them on a probationary period. Good evening. Thanks for joining us. I'm Jennifer Meckles. 9 News Northern Colorado reporter Amanda Gilbert spoke to some folks at that protest today, including one longtime park volunteer.
Crowds line the entrance of Rocky Mountain National Park on a day that brought many park goers. A lot of strangers passing each other noticed each other's flags and messages, but one sign made some stop.
Thanks for coming, Dorothy.
Thanks for coming.
I'll try to keep in touch with email, okay?
Yes, okay. Yes.
Dorothy Gibbs might be the oldest protester here today. She even gave Bigfoot a scare.
Well, 97 years old, my goodness.
97 3/4.
Okay.
Dorothy volunteered for the Park Service for years.
22.
She had one big responsibility at Bear Lake.
Well, I told people where to go. Save our parks. Save our parks.
You'll hear her chanting,
Save our parks. Save our parks.
Because she says she's worried about what's going to happen to our national parks after federal workers have been laid off.
Many of us have experienced waiting in line to get in or to get up to Bear Lake, and now to have it get worse, we can't bear it.
Dorothy's inspired generations and her family.
You're one of my best friends.
She's taught her great niece, Rachel Coyce, to love this land.
I got to do so much with you when I was growing up because you took such good care of the parks. And it is not going to be fair if kids don't get to do what I did.
But today, Dorothy says this isn't about her. She says it's about a collective effort from different generations and from different experiences.
Save our parks. Save our parks. Save our parks.
This is the second protest I've been to in this general area in recent weeks. Today, a big focus was on making sure people stayed on the sides of the road just to make sure cars could still get through. I'd estimate there's about 500 to 700 people here. Amanda Gilbert, 9 News.
Also today, a group of people hiked Eagle Cliff in the park as part of this protest. They displayed 2 upside-down flags protesting the job cuts. They say that they also removed the flags and the signs in the spirit of the Leave No Trace policy before they left the area. Layoffs have also reached Veterans Affairs. The VA announced more than 1,400 people nationwide were being let go. This includes combat veterans who did VA social work in Colorado. We spoke to 2 of them this week who say they were notified by email that their employment at the VA was, quote, no longer in the public's interest. Workers tell us at least 5 people at the York Street Clinic were fired. It's still unclear the total number of VA workers in Colorado that are part of the nationwide layoffs. It was a victory today for advocates working to protect wild horses in Colorado. Democratic Governor Jared Polis signed an executive order proclaiming March as Horse Protection Month. This comes in the middle of controversial wild horse helicopter roundups in the last couple years. Wildlife managers round up wild horses as part of a long-term plan to fight overpopulation. Polis and many animal rights activist groups have long opposed these methods. They call it inhumane. Today, the Horse Protection League celebrated the acknowledgement through the executive order. They focus on rescuing, rehabilitating, and finding new homes for horses across the state.
But these beautiful companion horses, they may be sick, they may not be able to be ridden, but the benefits that you as a person get out of making these partnerships and connections with the horses, it's life-changing.
We're told Colorado is the first state in the country to mark a month-long recognition for wild horses. All right, let's turn our attention to the forecast this afternoon. Here's a live look outside the 9 News studios. It is a beautiful Saturday day. We hope you got out, enjoyed some of the warm temperatures and the sunshine, because in true Colorado fashion, winter's coming back very soon. 9 News Weather Impact Team Meteorologist Corey Reppenhagen joins us now. So we got to enjoy the sunshine because we know March is the snowiest month and the first snowstorm's right on its way.
Right on cue, March is doing March things, although spring hasn't sprung this hard in a while. These last few days have been pretty amazing. But another thing you think of when it comes to spring weather in Colorado, that's big, heavy, wet snow. So we got that in the forecast too. Live look over the city of Denver here. Lots of blue skies still out there. Still in the 60s here as we had another 60-degree day, and we'll have another one tomorrow, although a little bit more cloud cover, especially in the morning hours, but we should have no problem getting comfortably up into the 60s once again tomorrow. The only difference is just a little bit more cloud cover. Here's the forecast. High temperatures across the rest of the region. All of the eastern half of the state here likely breaking into the 60s, and a few 50s in the mountains once again, even though they'll have some cloud cover up there as well. We're tracking the warm weather going into the day on Monday. Most of Monday probably going to be a pretty decent day. The next storm system, we've got a weather impact alert because it's a March storm, and it's a typical or a classic March storm with lots of moisture. So we're tracking big snow potential very close to the Denver metro area. So I'll have details coming up in just a few minutes.
Corey, thank you. This week, a jury convicted a man from Aurora who hit and killed somebody and then drove off. Police say 44-year-old Troy Conyers was seen on surveillance video stealing a cart full of items from a Walmart. He fled police when they tried to pull him over. Police say he then ran a red light and hit and killed someone in a crosswalk. The jury found Conyers guilty on charges of vehicular homicide, theft, eluding a peace officer, and reckless driving. He now faces 18 years behind bars. He will be sentenced on May 12th. Now, do not let this warm weather fool you. The flu season is sticking around a little bit later than usual in Colorado this year. 9 News reporter Evan Krugel joins us tonight with some numbers from here in Colorado. And also, doctors say it's really not too late to get vaccinated, Evan.
Yeah, Jenny, doctors say normally they ask folks to get vaccinated back in September and October. But this year, that flu season has come late and it has come hard. So they say it's still not too late to do so at this point. The warmth of March typically means flu season is almost over. But Laura Stevens,
I was in bed for about a week,
says the flu hit late this year.
the headache was the worst part of it. Body aches, chills, sore throat, nausea, kind of the whole laundry list of symptoms that you can get with the flu.
She ended up at a Care Now urgent care where doctors gave her Tamiflu to help those symptoms.
Everyone I know knows someone that is sick right now or that has been sick in the last month or so.
We're seeing a lot of flu this year.
Dr. Mark Montano hasn't had it.
I have not. Knock on wood.
He says patients like Laura who have had the flu shot are faring much better than those who haven't.
Although it doesn't prevent you from getting the illness, it tends to reduce the severity of the symptoms. And the big thing is it really keeps our patients who may be at increased risk out of the hospital, out of the ICU.
Last week, state data shows more than 300 people were hospitalized with the flu. That's down from the previous 2 weeks, but twice as high as the same time last year.
So we peaked later and higher this year, so we haven't really come down to where I would say that we're more like an average flu year.
Dr. Montano says he's encouraging people to still get the vaccine, even if Mother Nature says otherwise.
Even if you haven't had a vaccine yet, I know it's later in the season and we're starting to see some of our flu numbers drop. It is still not too late to get a flu vaccine, and it gives you protection.
Dr. Montano says it looks like Colorado hit its peak about 2 weeks ago. Cases have been steadily dropping since then. But Jenny, doctors are expecting this flu season to drag on longer than it typically does, potentially all the way through the end of the school year.
Boy, that's tough. I'm just curious, if people were to get a vaccine this late in the season, this is a seasonal thing. We usually go in the fall. So can you get it like now, March, and then also October again?
Yeah, the short answer is yes, because the flu changes so much over the course of the year, even over the course of one flu season. Those strains in the fall could be significantly different than the one we're seeing right now. So doctors say in most cases, if you get one now, you should still get another one in the fall.
Okay. Evan Krugel, thank you. It's also not just the flu that's got health officials worried. They're also on high alert for measles right now, as we've seen Texas is experiencing an outbreak. Coming up in our next half hour, we'll have a closer look at the data and what's being done to try to fight that outbreak.